Chapter 23:17. Next, the elder demon attacked and defeated another opponent. This made some of the geniuses from the heaven world look grim. Whoosh! Another figure rushed onto the fighting ring. Yuan Xian. Many people's eyes flickered, especially those who knew the inside story. In the primordial realm, Yuan Xian was the top genius, ranked third. Over the years, as the geniuses of the primordial realm continued to grow, their influence in the heaven world grew. Lu Ming had become an emperor with many different laws, which was unprecedented in history, shocking the heaven world. As for Tianming, Bubbles, and the others, their strength increased rapidly, and their reputation among the younger generation of the heaven world grew. Naturally, more people went to the top of the primordial realm, and the results of the Battle of 10 Earths were exposed, and many people knew about it. Yuan Xian was ranked third in the primordial realm back then, behind Lu Ming and Tianming. His talent was absolutely amazing, and even in the heaven world, he was the top. Some people even thought that he might be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with Juju in the future. Now, who was he going to challenge? Yuan Xian's gaze fell on Tianming. Tianming, come out and fight. Yuan Xian's voice sounded. Many people's eyes flickered, surprised. Many people thought that Yuan Xian would also challenge the geniuses of the heaven world, but he actually challenged Tianming. Back then, Yuan Xian was defeated by Tianming in the Battle of 10 Earths. He must want to challenge and defeat him. Indeed, many people nodded. Tianming, dressed in white, was handsome and elegant, and attracted the attention of many young women. He stood up, took a step, and landed on the platform. Yuan Xian, you were no match for me back then, and now, you are even less of a match for me. Tianming faintly said, full of confidence in himself. Don't be so full of yourself. Today, I will defeat you and prove that I am stronger than you. It's a pity that Lu Ming is dead. Otherwise, I would also defeat him and prove to everyone who is the top genius of the primordial realm, Yuan Xian said, his eyes flashing with a strong desire to fight. His ambition was higher than the sky, but he could only get third place in the Battle of 10 Earths. He was not satisfied and wanted to regain the throne of the primordial realm. Make your move, Tianming said lightly, his expression calm and indifferent, as if he did not take Yuan Xian's words to heart. Boom. Yuan Xian released a powerful aura. It was much stronger than when he fought Lu Ming in the Alcade ancient city. There were 4 different types of laws on his body that rushed toward Tianming. The 4 different types of laws, led by the law of primal chaos, formed a terrifying mystique. Boom. Yuan Xian punched out, and numerous chaos mountains came crashing down on Tianming. Dazzling white light emanated from Tianming's body. He pointed a finger, and a beam of light shot toward the mountains. Boom, boom, boom. Tianming's mountain crumbled and exploded one after another. Defeat. Then, Tianming took a step forward and pressed down with his finger. Boom. A terrifying pressure pressed down on Yuan Xian. At the same time, a dazzling radiance spread towards Yuan Xian like a stormy sea. This was also a terrifying divine ability. It was based on the laws of destiny, and when combined with other laws, it was shockingly powerful. Yuan Xian let out a roar as he unleashed his strength to the limit and attacked crazily. However, his attacks crumbled and disintegrated under the radiance of Tianming's finger. Finally, the radiance hit Yuan Xian. Yuan Xian's body shook violently as he spat out large mouthfuls of blood and was sent flying out of the arena. The scene suddenly fell silent. Many people looked at Tianming in shock, especially the geniuses from the Yuan realm. They were the most surprised. Tianming's strength was too terrifying. He had defeated Yuan Xian in just a few moves. Back in the Yuan realm's Battle of the 10 Lands, Tianming had to use many moves to defeat Yuan Xian. He even had to use his ultimate move to defeat him. But now, he had defeated Yuan Xian so easily. Clearly, Tianming's progress over the years had far surpassed Yuan Xian's. No, this is impossible. Standing in the air, Yuan Xian's face was blank. He could not accept all this. This time, he had wanted to defeat Tianming and prove to everyone that he was the number 1 in the primordial realm. However, in the end, he had suffered a crushing defeat. Furthermore, it had only been a few moves. and it had been an extremely miserable defeat. The difference in strength between him and Tianming was too great. Yuan Xian, you're too weak, Tianming said lightly. His words made Yuan Xian spit out another mouthful of blood as his body swayed. Then, Tianming no longer looked at him and swept his gaze over the other young geniuses. When Tianming's gaze swept over them, except for Juju, the other young genius's expressions changed. From the way he attacked just now, Tianming's strength was simply unfathomable. No one knew what level he had reached. Who was he going to challenge next? Finally, Tianming's gaze fell on one of the young geniuses, Yebing. He had always been known as the strongest Void Emperor among the younger generation of the Celestial Realm. Of course, ever since Lu Ming's rise, he was no longer the strongest Void Emperor. Back then, when Lu Ming became an emperor, he defeated him with one move. Was Tianming going to challenge Yebing? Yebing, come out and fight. As expected, Tianming's voice rang out. You overestimate yourself, Yebing said coldly as he stepped out and appeared on the arena. A ray of sharpness flashed in his eyes with a trace of ferocity. Back then, he had suffered a crushing defeat at the hands of Lu Ming, and his reputation had been greatly reduced. Therefore, he didn't have a good impression of geniuses from the Yuan realm like Lu Ming. Now, Tianming wanted to challenge him again. He would teach him an unforgettable lesson. Bang! Tianming took a step forward, and his body erupted with an astonishing light that was incomparably dazzling. Then, he pointed a finger, and a dazzling light suppressed Yebing. Divine Weapon Seal Art. Yebing shouted as his hands quickly formed seals. A huge pagoda condensed and suppressed Tianming. Boom! The huge pagoda and the light from Tianming's finger collided, and a shocking explosion erupted. Then, the huge pagoda condensed by Yebing shook violently, and it was covered with cracks. Yebing's expression changed as his hands quickly formed seals. A vase appeared, and a large amount of sword chi spewed out of the vase. Then, a war blade appeared and slashed at Tianming. River of Destiny. At this time, Tianming used his ultimate move, the River of Destiny. He stood in the River of Destiny as if he was immortal and controlled destiny. Tianming's move was much stronger than it had been in the past. Back then, it was only a type of destiny law, but now, other laws were added, and its power was astonishing. Boom, boom, boom. Tianming and Yebing were engaged in an intense battle. Chapter 23:18. In the blink of an eye, Tianming and Yebing had exchanged dozens of blows. At this time, Tianming actually began to gain the upper hand. Tianming's battle strength is terrifying. He can actually suppress Yebing. Many people were shocked. One had to know that Yebing was the strongest Void Emperor among the younger generation of the Celestial World. Although he was defeated by Lu Ming, it was only because Lu Ming was too abnormal, not because Yebing was weak. But now, Tianming could actually suppress Yebing. Tianming is worthy of being the second-ranked genius of the primordial realm. His talent is terrifying. Yes, if the primordial realm didn't have an even more abnormal Lu Ming, he would be invincible. Every one of the destiny laws is abnormal. Once they grow up, their achievements will be limitless. Discussions broke out in the surroundings. Many people sighed. Tianming's talent was terrifying. In the future, he would definitely be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with the 9 absolutes, or even surpass some of them. But then, everyone thought of Lu Ming. Although Tianming was strong, he was still suppressed by Lu Ming. Everyone sighed. It wasn't that Tianming wasn't strong, but that Lu Ming was too abnormal and couldn't be understood with common sense. Yebing roared. He was not reconciled to being suppressed by Tianming. He wanted to erupt with all his strength and attack crazily, wanting to turn the tables. He condensed all kinds of weapons and attacked Tianming. Unfortunately, these weapons exploded and crumbled under Tianming's attacks. Tianming became stronger and stronger as the battle went on, and his advantage continued to increase. He completely suppressed Yebing. Bang! In the end, Yebing was sent flying, vomiting blood as he was blasted out of the battle stage. Yebing was defeated. The genius who was known as the strongest in the Void Emperor realm was defeated once again. What strength! The primordial realm really has a few geniuses. Apart from Lu Ming, Tianming should be the strongest in the Void Emperor realm. Yes, he's invincible among the Void Emperors. Many people discussed. Tianming's reputation had risen to the peak. Some of the 9 absolutes looked at Tianming with solemn eyes. Tianming would definitely be a great threat to them when he became a true emperor. However, Xin Yuan Yi and Lin Xiaofeng's eyes were calm, exuding strong confidence. Tianming didn't continue. He left the stage and returned to his seat. Now, it's time for the battle between the 9 aces. Many people thought to themselves and became more and more expectant. But at this moment, a petite figure appeared on the stage in a flash. That's a space-time spirit mouse. Many people's eyes flickered. Bubble. Lu Ming's lips curled into a smile. Bubbles was about to make a move. Lu Ming hadn't seen Bubbles fight for many years. He wanted to see how strong Bubbles was. The talents of the top 10 war beasts were absolutely astonishing. Now that they had received guidance from the Almighty of the Heaven Realm, their improvement would definitely be astonishing. Bubbles' gaze swept across the crowd and finally landed on Xinghe and Yuan Xian. The two of you, come up here. I'll let you work together. Chirp chirp. Bubbles pouted, her crisp voice resounding throughout the entire arena. This guy really wants to challenge Stellar River and Yuan Xian. Lu Ming smiled. Both Stellar River and Yuan Xian had a grudge against Lu Ming and had always targeted Lu Ming. Bubbles naturally remembered that. Stellar River and Yuan Xian's faces turned ugly. A loser from back then. I alone am enough to deal with you. Why do I need 2 people? Yuan Xian said coldly and rushed onto the stage. You can't do it. I'll defeat you in 1 move. Yuan Xian curled her lips and revealed a look of disdain. Ha ha ha. Defeat me in 1 move? What a joke. Yuan Xian laughed crazily. Bubbles actually said that she would defeat him in 1 move. Even Tianming couldn't do it. Who did she think she was? What a joke. You go first. I'll let you go first. Otherwise, you won't have a chance. Chirp chirp. Bubbles said as if she didn't care about Yuan Xian at all. Yuan Xian was furious. Then I'll fulfill your wish. Yuan Xian shouted and rushed towards Bubbles. At the same time, he unleashed his strongest combat power. Facing the space-time spirit mouse, Yuan Xian didn't dare to be careless. He attacked with his strongest combat power. He was surrounded by all kinds of laws and charged towards Bubbles. However, when he was halfway there, his body stiffened in midair. The various laws that covered his body suddenly disappeared without a trace. Yuan Xian's face changed drastically. He roared and manipulated the laws again. However, the laws disappeared as soon as they appeared. Time laws, it's the time laws. Using the time laws to control the power of time and travel back to the moment when the opponent didn't manipulate the laws. Therefore, when Yuan Xian's laws appeared, they disappeared. How terrifying! Many people saw the trick and were shocked. This was already manipulating the power of time. Void Emperor was only able to do this, as expected of the space-time spirit mouse. At this moment, Bubbles appeared in front of Yuan Xian and kicked Yuan Xian's face. Yuan Xian's body was like a broken sandbag. He flew out of the stage and fell heavily on the ground. He vomited blood and his face was completely swollen. Defeated, Yuan Xian was defeated. Bubbles really only used 1 move. Many people were shocked. Bubbles' combat power was beyond their imagination. Tianming's eyes narrowed slightly. He looked at Bubbles with a grave expression. How useless! Bubbles muttered and stopped looking at Yuan Xian. This made Yuan Xian vomit another mouthful of blood. It was from anger. Yuan Xian had suffered a huge blow today. He originally wanted to defeat Tianming and avenge the humiliation back then. However, he was easily defeated by Tianming in the end. That was fine, but now, he was defeated by Bubbles in 1 move. Bubbles was his defeated opponent back then, but now, she defeated him in 1 move. He couldn't accept it. Bubble ignored him and swept his gaze over the remaining youths. Those who were swept by his gaze all had a change in expression. Will she challenge Tianming? Many people thought so. However, in the end, Bubbles didn't challenge Tianming. Her gaze fell on Yebing. You, come out and fight. Bubbles pointed at Yebing. Yebing's face was gloomy. Bubbles actually challenged him? However, today, in the face of a challenge, he had to fight. He couldn't back down. Otherwise, his reputation would be completely ruined. He stepped out and landed on the stage. Although your space-time law is mysterious, it depends on who your opponent is. If your opponent's strength surpasses yours, your space-time law won't work. I'm not Yuan Xian. I'll use my powerful strength to break your space-time law. Yebing said. Many people's hearts moved. That was indeed the case. The space-time law was incomparably mysterious and unpredictable. It could mobilize the power of time and space. It was terrifying. However, no law was truly invincible. When one's strength reached a certain level, it could break all laws. Chapter 23:19. You talk too much. If you're not going to attack, I'll attack. Bubble muttered, then suddenly rushed towards her opponent. Her speed was extremely fast, as if she was traveling through the void. Yebing didn't dare to be careless. He used the divine weapon seal technique and surrounded his body with all kinds of weapons. The weapons vibrated, shattering the void and stopping Bubbles' attack. Yebing's strength was indeed much stronger than Yuan Xian's. His combat strength was astonishing and could already affect Bubbles' space-time laws. Therefore, Bubble naturally couldn't defeat Yebing as easily as she defeated Yuan Xian. However, after the two exchanged blows, Bubbles still had the upper hand. Bubbles' figure flickered, and no matter how Yebing attacked, he couldn't hit Bubble. In fact, under the influence of Bubbles' space-time law, Yebing's speed was much slower, and the speed at which he condensed divine armament seals was also much slower. After dozens of moves, he was sent flying by Bubble, suffering heavy injuries. Yebing was defeated again. He was so angry that he almost vomited blood. Today, he had suffered 2 consecutive defeats at the hands of the Yuan Realm's geniuses. The talent of the space-time spirit mouse is indeed amazing. It's only been a few years, and it's already reached this level. That's natural. When the top 10 battle beasts grow up, they'll all be peak powerhouses. How do you think the combat strength of the space-time spirit mouse compared to Tianming? It's hard to say. I feel that the space-time spirit mouse is stronger. Not necessarily. Many people were discussing. While they were shocked, they couldn't help but compare Tianming and Bubble. Both of them had defeated Yebing. It could be said that they stood at the peak of the Void Emperor realm. However, it was really hard to compare who was stronger between the two. In terms of laws, the destiny laws were indeed stronger than the space-time laws. However, a law also depended on who was using it. The space-time spirit mouse was born to control the space-time laws. No living creature could compare to the space-time spirit mouse in terms of the application of the space-time laws. Those so-called Elysian children controlled the space-time laws, but in terms of the application of the space-time laws, they were far inferior to the space-time spirit mouse. Therefore, it was hard to say who would win. Many people were curious. Would Bubble challenge the heavenly mandate next? However, everyone was disappointed. Bubble didn't challenge Tianming. She seemed to have had enough. After the bubble went down, no one in the Void Emperor realm went up to challenge it. Many people looked expectant. Next was the main event, the battle between the 9 aces. This time, the reason why so many people had come was to watch the duel between the 9 absolutes. More than 10 years ago, the ranking of the 9 spellcasters had been determined. Over the past 10 years, the 9 spellcasters had rarely fought each other. Everyone wanted to see if there would be any changes in the rankings of the 9 absolutes in the past 10 years. Whoosh! A figure rushed onto the fighting ring. It was the Black Tortoise Forest. As expected, he was the first to make a move. The Black Tortoise Forest is ranked last among the 9 extinctions. I wonder if he can make it this time. It's hard to say. None of the 9 extinctions are weak. We'll only know after we fight. Everyone expressed their opinions. Next, Xin Wu Lin started his challenge. He challenged the 8th-ranked genius of the 9 extinctions. The two exchanged many moves, but in the end, Xin Wu Lin was defeated, not a match for the other. Xin Wulian was unwilling to give up. After taking a pill to adjust his condition to the peak, he challenged the 7th-ranked genius. However, he was still defeated. In the end, he had no choice but to give up the challenge. His ranking remained at the 9th place. Next, it was the battle between the 9 absolutes. Fierce battles continued. The 9 absolutes had long entered the true Emperor realm. Their combat strength was so strong that it attracted everyone's attention, especially the geniuses below the Void Emperor realm. They could learn a lot from the battles. Exciting battles took place one after another. However, there were very few changes in the rankings. In the past, the higher-ranked geniuses were indeed stronger. This was the case until now. There was only one change. The 5th-ranked genius defeated the 4th-ranked genius and took his place. The rest of the rankings did not change. Soon, the 3rd-ranked prodigy defeated his opponent. He turned his gaze to Xinyuan Yi and Lin Xiaofeng. In the end, he challenged the 2nd-ranked genius, Xinyuan Yi. You overestimate yourself. Xinyuan Yi stepped out and landed on the fighting ring. I will defeat you within 10 moves. Xinyuan Yi said indifferently, full of confidence. 10 moves? Xinyuan Yi, you're too confident. The 3rd-ranked genius. His face was a little ugly. I'm already flattering you by saying 10 moves. Do you understand? Xinyuan Yi said indifferently. His figure suddenly rushed towards the 3rd-ranked genius. The 3rd-ranked genius was a blue-robed youth. He had fought with the foreign race prince outside the two-world city and was defeated. At that time, he had the combat strength of an 8th-order true emperor. Now, his combat strength was undoubtedly stronger. Boom! The blue-robed youth erupted with all his strength and attacked with a terrifying divine art. 10th-order true emperor realm combat strength. Someone exclaimed. The blue-robed youth was much stronger than when he fought with the foreign race prince. His combat strength had increased by 2 levels, reaching the 10th-order true emperor realm. It was extremely shocking to have such combat strength at his age. Unfortunately, he had met Xinyuan Yi. Xinyuan Yi's world force surged and the laws of the world filled his body. A halberd appeared in his hand. Boom! The halberd was incomparably huge. It grew to the size of a mountain and slashed towards the blue-robed youth. The halberd was invincible and powerful to the extreme. When it slashed down, the blue-robed youth's attacks and defenses collapsed completely. Boom! The blue-robed youth frantically retreated. He was blasted tens of thousands of meters away. His face was abnormally pale. A deep wound appeared on his body. It was so deep that his bones could be seen. Blood flowed freely. He was severely injured in one move. I've already shown mercy. Otherwise, you would have been dead. I said that I'll defeat you in 10 moves. Otherwise, I'll defeat you in 1 move. Xinyuan Yi said indifferently. The blue-robed youth's face turned ugly. 1 move, it was really just 1 move. Xinyuan Yi defeated him. The difference in combat strength between the two was too great. The scene was silent. Many people were tongue-tied. This result was far beyond their expectations. The blue-robed youth, ranked 3rd among the 9 absolutes, was defeated in 1 move by Xinyuan Yi. In everyone's imagination, even if the blue-robed youth was no match for Xinyuan Yi, the two should be able to exchange blows. However, the result was completely one-sided. A 10th-order true Emperor realm combat strength can't even withstand a single blow. How strong is Xinyuan Yi? He's at least at the 12th-order true Emperor realm. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to defeat him so easily. It's even higher than that. No wonder the Lan family offered 100 Chaos Stones as a reward. Could it be that Xinyuan Yi can really defeat Lin Xiaofeng? Chapter 23:20. This time, many people had guessed that Xinyuan Yi must have made great progress and had amazing combat strength. Otherwise, the Lan family would not have offered 100 Chaos Stones as a reward. But when they saw that the 3rd-ranked genius could not withstand a single blow from Xinyuan Yi, they were still very shocked. Perhaps Xinyuan Yi could really fight Lin Xiaofeng. Lan Cheng and some of the older generation experts of the Lan family smiled, especially Lan Cheng, who stroked his beard and smiled confidently. Xinyuan Yi stood on the fighting ring. He was tall and slender and was full of confidence. His gaze landed on Lin Xiaofeng as he spoke in a firm and confident voice. Lin Xiaofeng, come up and fight. Xin Yuanyi's voice spread throughout the area. As you wish. As soon as Lin Xiaofeng's voice fell, his figure was already on the fighting ring. Lin Xiaofeng, you were lucky to beat me more than 10 years ago. Today, I will trample you under my feet and let everyone know who the strongest genius is, whether in the heaven realm or the primordial realm. Xin Yuanyi said proudly and confidently. I'll take the 100 chaos stones. This was Lin Xiaofeng's answer. He was also full of confidence. Everyone's eyes fell on the two young figures on the fighting ring. These two were the strongest geniuses in the heaven realm and the primordial realm. Their future achievements were limitless and unpredictable. These two people had fought a peak battle more than 10 years ago. That battle left a deep impression and was still unforgettable. After more than 10 years, the two were going to fight again. This time, who was stronger and who was weaker? Boom, boom. Xin Yuanyi and Lin Xiaofeng exploded with powerful auras. Their auras intertwined in the void and produced a violent roar. Explosive divine slash. A sky piercer appeared in Xin Yuanyi's hand. The sky piercer rapidly enlarged and towered into the clouds. There were precepts surrounding it, and its aura was shocking. Then, the sky piercer viciously slashed at Lin Xiaofeng. Clang! The sound of the saber resounded throughout the area. Lin Xiaofeng's saber was unsheathed. A ray of saber light rushed up and slashed at his opponent. Boom! The two terrifying attacks collided fiercely, causing the space to shake violently. Even the fighting stage let out a violent rumble. Boundless energy swept out in all directions. Xin Yuanyi and Lin Xiaofeng both shuddered and took a few steps back. However, as soon as they stopped, they both stomped heavily on the fighting ring and rushed towards each other like two rays of light. Boom! The two of them collided in the middle of the fighting ring, as if two stars had collided. Saber radiance and halberd radiance swept out in all directions. Clang! Clang! Following that, the two of them engaged in an intense battle. In the blink of an eye, the two had already exchanged several dozen moves. So strong, comparable to a 13th level true emperor. That's right, a 13th order true emperor at such a young age. Amazing! Many older generation figures sighed. In the past, not to mention reaching the 13th rank, even becoming an emperor at this age was considered not bad. This era was truly a crazy era. The two of them fought fiercely on the fighting stage. As they fought, their auras grew stronger and stronger, and their battle prowess grew stronger and stronger. In the end, their combat strength had surpassed the 13th rank of a true emperor and entered the 14th rank. This made many people gasp. Lin Xiaofeng and Xin Yuanyi's combat strength had reached the 14th rank of a true emperor. The battle became even more intense. The two of them had exchanged more than 200 moves, but there was no clear winner. Lin Xiaofeng, is this the limit of your combat strength? What a disappointment. At this moment, Xin Yuanyi's voice was heard. That's all you've got. It's impossible for you to defeat me. Lin Xiaofeng said. Is that so? Lin Xiaofeng, today is the day I rise. From now on, I will be the strongest in the world. Xin Yuanyi shouted and suddenly let out a long whistle. Boom! The halberd in his hand suddenly surged and he struck out, colliding with Lin Xiaofeng's battle saber. Amidst the violent explosion, Lin Xiaofeng's battle saber shook violently and finally exploded with a bang. Lin Xiaofeng's figure retreated rapidly until he reached the edge of the fighting ring. His chest heaved up and down as he looked at Xin Yuanyi in shock. 15th rank of a true emperor? You've reached the 15th rank of a true emperor? Lin Xiaofeng said in disbelief. The crowd was in an uproar. Xin Yuanyi's combat strength had reached the 15th rank of a true emperor. This was too terrifying for someone so young to have reached this step. The 15th rank of a true emperor was close to the peak of the true emperor realm. Once one reached the peak of the true emperor realm, they would be able to break through to the emperor realm. Many older generation figures had to spend a lot of time to reach this step. Xin Yuanyi, on the other hand, had reached this step in less than 100 years. It was too shocking. The third-ranked youth in the Blue Mountain was only at the 10th rank of a true emperor. The difference between him and a 15th-ranked true emperor was too great. Terrifying, too terrifying. Is this Xianyuan Yi's true combat strength? No wonder the Lan family is so confident. Who can defeat a 15th-rank true emperor at such a young age? The Lan family took out 100 chaos stones. It seems generous, but they're confident that Xianyuan Yi will get it. Moreover, they can push Xianyuan Yi to the peak in one fell swoop. This move is brilliant. Many people were discussing and admiring the Lan family's methods. Lan Cheng stroked his beard with a smug smile on his face. After this, the Lan family would have 2 of the 9 absolute geniuses. Moreover, one of them would be the #1 genius in the world. The Lan family's prestige would definitely reach the peak. The Lan family would also become stronger and stronger in his hands. Lan Cheng was incomparably happy. It's a pity that Lu Ming is dead. It's a pity that I didn't get the indestructible ancient scripture. Lan Cheng sighed in his heart. Boom. At this time, Xianyuan Yi stepped forward and a powerful aura pressed down on Lin Xiaofeng. Lin Xiaofeng, I've said it before. This time, I'll trample you under my feet and prove to everyone that I'm the #1 in the world. Xianyuan Yi shouted loudly as the power of the sky piercer in his hand grew stronger. Fight! Lin Xiaofeng shouted. He was unwilling to admit defeat. He became one with his saber and attacked Xianyuan Yi. However, the gap between their combat strength was there, and it was difficult to cross it. The difference between a 14th-rank true emperor and a 15th-rank true emperor was real, not a difference in cultivation. The 2 of them exchanged a few more moves, but Lin Xiaofeng was no match for him. He was sent flying and vomited blood. In the end, he was hit by Xianyuan Yi and was sent flying off the battle stage. Chapter 23-21. Xianyuan Yi stood on the fighting ring, holding the sky piercer in his hand. He looked like an invincible god of war, majestic and imposing. On the other hand, Lin Xiaofeng's face was pale and full of dejection. He had lost. From now on, he was no longer the #1 expert in the world. The #1 genius of the younger generation had changed hands. Ha ha ha, good good good. Lan Cheng laughed even louder, his smile blossoming like a flower. All of this was as he had expected. There was no change at all. Xianyuan Yi had indeed defeated Lin Xiaofeng and seized the title of the world's #1 genius. His prestige would reach its peak, and so would the prestige of the Lan family. Is there anyone else who wants to fight? If not, this duel is completely over. Lan Cheng stood up with a smile on his face, and his voice spread throughout the arena. I'll do it. At that moment, a clear voice was heard. Outside the square, a rainbow light flew in at an extremely fast speed and landed on the fighting ring. It was a young man of 15 or 16 years old. He was elegant and had an extraordinary temperament. However, many people were stunned when they saw the young man's face. Long Qin, Huang Ling, Huang Li, Bubbles, and the others were all stunned and dumbfounded. At the same time, Blue Cloud, Heng Xinghe, Yuan Xian, and the others, including Lan Cheng and the others, were also dumbfounded. Even Lu Ming himself almost bit his tongue. His eyes were wide open, because the young man looked too much like Lu Ming. He looked 70 to 80% similar to Lu Ming, but more delicate. No, he's not Lu Ming. He's only 15 or 16 years old. He can't be Lu Ming. Immediately, someone said, a person's appearance could be changed at will. However, one's aura, or life qi, would not change. One could clearly tell a person's age from their life qi. The young man was definitely not old. He should be 15 or 16 years old. Of course, a 15 or 16-year-old could not be Lu Ming. My hair, could this young man be Lu Ming's illegitimate son? Heartless monk chanted the name of Buddha and muttered softly. However, everyone present was an expert, so they naturally heard it clearly. Many people's hearts trembled. Perhaps this was really possible because the 2 of them were really too similar. This monk, Lu Ming rubbed his nose speechlessly and looked at the unscrupulous monk with disdain. What a wild imagination, Lu Ming thought. But at that moment, the youth turned to Monk Wuliang and cupped his fists. Master, do you know Lu Ming? Of course, Lu Ming is my brother. We've known each other for decades. Little guy, what's your relationship with Lu Ming? Monk Wuliang said. That's my father, the young man said. Puff. Lu Ming had been drinking a mouthful of wine, but at this moment, he spat it out. He stared at the youth, dumbfounded. The young man actually said that he was his son? Son? He has a son? Lu Ming was dumbfounded. At the same time, his mind raced. Little Qing. Suddenly, Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He thought of Xian Yinqing. He had only had sex with Xian Yinqing before. Calculating the time, it just so happened to be the same age as the young man. Moreover, Lu Ming sized him up carefully and realized that there were indeed some traces of Xian Yinqing in the young man's eyes. Could it be really my son? Lu Ming had an inexplicable feeling in his heart. This feeling was very strange and indescribable. The others, such as Long Qin, Huang Ling, Bubbles, and the others, were also dumbfounded. Brother Lu Ming has a son. Little Lu Ming? He really looks like him. Chirp, chirp. Bubbles cried out. Chirp, chirp. I was just guessing. I didn't expect that I was right. Monk Woyang's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. Lu Ming. Huang Ling sighed with mixed feelings. Lu Ming's son, Blue Cloud, Hung Xinghe, Yuan Xian, and the others had a cold light in their eyes. As for Heavenly Emperor Hung Yu and the Primordial Body Cultivator Supreme Elders, they all looked at Lu Ming with strange expressions. Lu Ming resisted the urge to rush out. Now was not the time. Even if the other party was really his and Xian Yinqing's son, it would be the same after they recognized each other. If he went out now and showed his true body, he would probably not have a share of the 100 Chaos Stones. Lan Cheng and the others would definitely not let him challenge Xin Yuan Yi. Everyone's thoughts turned in their hearts. Senior, do you know where my father, Lu Ming, is now? The young man looked at Monk Woyang and continued to ask. He is in seclusion in a secret place and can't come out for the time being. Monk Woyang made up nonsense. What seclusion? Let me tell you, Lu Ming is already dead. A cold voice sounded. It was Blue Cloud. The young man was actually Lu Ming's son. He was unhappy just looking at him. What did you say? You're talking nonsense. My mother said that my father is unparalleled and invincible in the younger generation. How can he be dead? The young man glared at Blue Cloud. What unparalleled, my ass? You're really deceiving yourself. Blue Cloud despised. In my opinion, you must have been defeated by my father before, and even abused very badly. Otherwise, you wouldn't deliberately belittle him like this. A light flashed in the young man's eyes as he said coldly, You. Blue Cloud's face flushed red. The young man's words just happened to poke his sore spot. He was abused by Lu Ming more than once. Each time, it was very miserable, causing him to lose face. Ha ha ha, little Lu Ming, you're right. He was abused very badly by Lu Ming. He was simply kneeling on the ground and begging for mercy, crying for his father and mother. He even betrayed his ancestors. Monk Woyang added fuel to the fire and directly implicated the Lan family. This made Lan Cheng's expression ugly. He wished he could slap Monk Woyang to death. On the other hand, Blue Cloud's face alternated between green and green. All right, young man, you want a challenge? Who do you want to challenge? Lan Cheng quickly changed the topic. The young man's gaze swept across the crowd and finally landed on Xian Wulin. I want to challenge him. The young man pointed at Xian Wulin. What? Everyone was shocked. The young man actually wanted to challenge Xian Wulin? The young man was only 15 or 16 years old. How strong could his cultivation be? It was already rare to be able to become an emperor at this age, but he actually wanted to challenge Xian Wulin. No matter what, Xian Wulin was still one of the 9 absolutes. His cultivation had already broken through to the true emperor realm. Now, he even had the combat strength of a 6th order true emperor. How could he challenge the 9 absolutes at such a young age? Xian Wulin's face darkened. It was embarrassing for him to be challenged by a 15-year-old young man. At such a young age, you're overestimating yourself. You actually want to challenge the 9 absolutes. You don't have the slightest bit of self-awareness. You're no different from your father. Blue Cloud was very unhappy and seized the opportunity to mock and ridicule. Oh, since that's the case, I'll challenge you first. Come down and fight. The young man looked at Blue Cloud. You want to challenge me? Blue Cloud's expression changed slightly. Nonsense. You, come down and fight. Don't tell me you don't even dare to accept my challenge? Chapter 23-22. The young man used provocation to challenge Blue Cloud. However, Blue Cloud had no choice but to accept it even though he knew it was a provocation. The other party was only a 15 or 16-year-old youth. If he didn't even dare to accept this challenge, then he wouldn't be able to show his face in the future. He would be laughed at by others. Since you want to fight, I'll grant you your wish, Blue Cloud said coldly as he stepped out and landed on the battle platform. Lu Ming's palm couldn't help but tighten. He was a little worried for the young man. He was ready to take out the fallen star bow at any time. If the young man was in danger, he would help. Bubbles and the others were also staring at the arena, especially Bubbles. He wouldn't let anything happen to the young man. You're so arrogant at such a young age. I'd like to see what you're capable of, Blue Cloud said coldly. The young man was only 15 or 16 years old. He didn't believe that the young man could be a match for him. He was also a top prodigy who had cultivated hard for decades to achieve such an achievement. He had never heard of anyone who could achieve as much as him at the age of 15 or 16. There had never been anyone since ancient times. Make your move. Once you make your move, you'll naturally see what I'm capable of, the young man said indifferently. His expression was calm and indifferent, as if he didn't take Blue Cloud seriously at all. Blue Cloud was getting angrier and angrier. Since you're courting death, I'll grant you your wish. Kill. Blue Cloud roared angrily as light erupted from his body. Then, endless light converged into a giant lion that pounced towards the young man. The giant lion was as big as a mountain and had a terrifying aura. Blue Cloud used his ultimate move right away. If the young man was hit, he would definitely die. Since the young man said that he was Lu Ming's son, then he would send him on his way. A sinister look flashed in Blue Cloud's eyes. Seeing that the giant lion was about to pounce on the young man made his move. A layer of dark light emanated from his body. Then, a black sword light burst out and slashed towards the giant lion. The giant lion that Blue Cloud transformed from his ability was like a piece of tofu. It couldn't withstand a single blow and was directly defeated by the young man's dark light. Moreover, the black light did not stop there and continued to attack Blue Cloud. The speed of the black light was so fast that Blue Cloud couldn't dodge it. How is this possible? Blue Cloud roared in anger. Both of his fists continued to bombard the giant lions. However, they were all swept away by the black light and disintegrated. Whoosh! The black light hit Blue Cloud, and Blue Cloud let out a blood-curdling scream. He tried to retreat, but it was useless. His body was directly cut in two by the black light. He fell to the ground, howling in pain. Hiss, hiss, hiss. Many people sucked in a breath of cold air and looked at the young man in shock. One move. With just one move, the young man had cut Blue Cloud into two halves. This was too shocking. One should know that Blue Cloud was a top-notch genius who had mastered an ultimate law. His current cultivation had even reached the level of a 5-star illusionary emperor. Even with such a high level of cultivation, he couldn't even withstand a single move from the youth. This was too shocking. Some of the older generation figures saw even more. What kind of power is that? It's so terrifying. This young man's cultivation is at the level of a 3-star illusionary emperor, but the power he cultivates is terrifyingly strong. That's right. It's a bit like the power of the immemorial cultivation system, but it's more condensed, sharper, and more terrifying. Some of the older generation figures discussed animatedly. It was already extremely shocking for a young man to reach the level of a 3-star illusionary emperor at such a young age. However, the power that the young man cultivated was even stranger. When the young man attacked, there wasn't any fluctuation of law. Obviously, the young man didn't cultivate the law system. However, it wasn't the immemorial cultivation system either. This was because the young man's power was even more terrifying than the power cultivated by the immemorial cultivation system. Some of the older generation figures discussed in shock. Nest, you're amazing. You're really amazing. You're worthy of being Lu Ming's son. He defeated Blue Cloud in one move. He's really amazing. Monk Wuliang, Long Chun, and the others were also discussing in shock. This power. Only Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. This was because he had seen this kind of power once. Back then, after he had sex with Xian Yinqing, the next day, Xian Yinqing seemed to have changed into a different person and attacked him. The power that Xian Yinqing used was this kind of power. It was invincible, and its attack power was so strong that it could even penetrate the laws. He's really my son. At this moment, Lu Ming came to a conclusion and felt an inexplicable excitement in his heart. No one would be able to remain calm if they suddenly had a son. Lu Ming couldn't wait to rush out immediately and reunite with the young man. Then, he would ask about Xian Yinqing's whereabouts. If the young man was here, then Xian Yinqing must also be in the Taiching Sky domain. He had to get to the bottom of this matter. However, he wasn't in a hurry for the time being. It wouldn't be too late to wait until the Lan family's matter was resolved. At this moment, the experts of the Lan family had already rescued Blue Cloud. With Blue Cloud's cultivation, being cut in half was a small matter and could be easily healed. The biggest blow to him was that he was defeated by the young man in one move. Impossible, impossible. Blue Cloud kept yelling in his heart. He couldn't accept it. He had been defeated by a 15 or 16-year-old boy in one move. This was a great humiliation. You can't even withstand a single blow. The young man shook his head and looked at Xin Wulin. Now, we can fight, the young man said. Xin Wulin narrowed his eyes and stepped onto the fighting ring. Buzz. Stars appeared around Xin Wulin. There were a total of 360 stars that covered his entire body. Xin Wulin didn't dare to be careless in front of the young man. Clang. A sword chime sounded and a pitch-black battle sword appeared in the young man's hand. Remember, the one who defeated you is Lu Shenhuang. The young man's voice sounded and the sword light whizzed out, piercing the void and slashing toward Xin Wulin at an extremely fast speed. Lu Shenhuang. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Was this the name that Xian Yinqing had given the young man? Lu Shenhuang meant the divine wilderness continent, and also the place where Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing met and fell in love. They had experienced unforgettable times in the divine wilderness continent. Heavenly cycle stellar fist. Xin Wulin roared as he waved his hands, and stars flew toward Lu Shenhuang. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Lu Shenhuang's battle sword shook and sword chi whizzed out. Streaks of black sword light slashed at the stars. Pong, pong. The stars exploded like fireworks. Xin Wulin's expression changed, and he used all his strength. More stars flew toward Xin Wulin. Each star contained his power of law, but Lu Shenhuang's sword light was shockingly powerful. It could easily tear apart his power of law. The two quickly attacked, and the sky was filled with sword light and starlight. In the blink of an eye, the two had exchanged dozens of blows. What terrifying strength! A genius, a genius! Some of the older generation exclaimed at Lu Shenhuang's battle strength. His cultivation was only that of a 3-star Void Emperor. However, he was able to fight against Xin Wulin. His fighting strength was not only shocking, it was unimaginable. Chapter 23:23. My hair, my nest, this is too perverted, too heaven-defying. Unscrupulous monk started to spout nonsense. As expected of Lu Ming's son, he's even stronger than Lu Ming. Long Chun sighed. If that was the case, then Lu Shenhuang was stronger than Lu Ming back in the day. When Lu Ming broke through to the martial emperor realm, he became a 4-star Void Emperor and fought against Xin Wulin. In the end, he managed to defeat Xin Wulin by combining 9 types of laws. However, Xin Wulin wasn't as strong as he was now. At that time, Xin Wulin was only a 3rd-order true emperor. It was obvious that Lu Shenhuang was stronger than Lu Ming back in the day. Of course, now that Lu Ming's mastery of various laws had deepened and he had cultivated the primordial body cultivation, his physical strength had skyrocketed. Now, Lu Ming's ability to fight beyond his level was much stronger than before. Great! Lu Ming was overjoyed to see Lu Shenhuang's strength. Damn it! How could this be? Some were happy while others were worried. Hung Xinghe, Yuan Xian, Lan Cheng, and the others roared in disbelief. Lu Ming was already abnormal enough, but his son was even more abnormal. How could this be? They roared in their hearts and went crazy with jealousy. Peng, peng, peng. Lu Shenhuang and Xian Wulin fought fiercely, causing explosions to ring out. However, the more they fought, the stronger Lu Shenhuang became. His entire body was covered with a layer of black light that merged with his battle sword. The sword light was extremely sharp, and it constantly destroyed Xian Wulin's stars. In the end, the sword light destroyed the stars even faster. Before Xian Wulin could condense his stars, Lu Shenhuang had already arrived in front of him and slashed out with his sword. Xian Wulin screamed as he coughed out blood and retreated from the battle stage. There was a deep wound on his body that was bleeding profusely. Xian Wulin had lost. He had been defeated by Lu Shenhuang. From now on, the position of 9 absolutes would be replaced by Lu Shenhuang. Xian Wulin's expression was extremely ugly. This was a huge blow to him. Lan Cheng's expression was ugly as he said coldly, "Lu Shenhuang, do you still want to continue?" "No." Lu Shenhuang shook his head and rushed down the stage. He landed on a seat and closed his eyes to meditate. "Is there anyone else who wants to challenge me? If not, then the first place today belongs to Xinyuan Yi." Lan Cheng stood up and announced, his voice spreading throughout the audience. "Let me." As soon as Lan Cheng's voice fell, he was interrupted. At this moment, Lu Ming stood up and took a step forward, landing on the battle stage. Many people's eyes fell on Lu Ming, but when they saw Lu Ming's appearance, they were slightly stunned. This was because they had never seen Lu Ming's appearance before. Another genius that had never appeared before? Some Heavenly Emperor characters revealed looks of surprise. With Heavenly Emperor realm cultivation, they could sense that Lu Ming should have changed his appearance. But they could not see through Lu Ming's original appearance. What a brilliant disguise technique. Some Heavenly Emperor characters whispered, "You want a challenge? Who do you want to challenge?" Lan Cheng asked, "If I want to challenge, of course I want to challenge the first place. Xinyuan Yi, come down and fight." Lu Ming's gaze looked at Xinyuan Yi. What? Many people were shocked. Someone actually wanted to challenge Xinyuan Yi. Xinyuan Yi's combat strength was obvious to all. He had reached the 15th level of a true emperor. This kind of combat strength, without a doubt, was unparalleled among the younger generation. But now, someone wanted to challenge Xinyuan Yi. This was crazy. Many people originally thought that Lu Ming's challenge was nothing more than the same as Lu Shenhuang's, casually challenging a few experts to hone himself or gain fame. But now, Lu Ming wanted to challenge Xinyuan Yi, which was greatly beyond everyone's expectations. This kid must be playing to the gallery. He wants to challenge Xinyuan Yi to increase his fame. Even if he loses miserably, his fame will rise. Yes, it must be so. Some people discussed. Xinyuan Yi's eyes narrowed slightly as he rushed to the battle stage. "Kid, swords have no eyes. If you challenge me and I make a mistake and cripple or kill you, you only have yourself to blame," Xinyuan Yi said coldly. He was not in a good mood. He had already defeated Lin Xiaofeng and ascended to the first place. Everything was perfect. But now, someone wanted to challenge him. Everything seemed to be flawed and not very perfect. Therefore, he wanted to kill Lu Ming. Later, he would kill him in one move to make an example and let everyone know the consequences of challenging him. "Kid, what's your name?" At this time, Lan Cheng asked. "I'm just a nobody. Let's not talk about it." Lu Ming smiled faintly. A nobody dares to challenge Brother Xinyuan. He's overestimating himself. In my opinion, this person is playing to the gallery. Brother Xinyuan doesn't need to accept the challenge at all. Just ask someone to throw him out. A voice sounded. It was Xian Wulin who spoke. Xian Wulin had just been defeated by Lu Shenhuang in public, so he was in a bad mood and would bite anyone he could find. At this time, Lu Ming rushed out. He was very unhappy with Lu Ming and directly mocked him. "You can't even be compared to a 15-year-old boy. How dare you yell here? If I were you, I would just destroy my own cultivation." Lu Ming looked at Xian Wulin and sneered. "You kid, Brother Xinyuan doesn't need to do anything today. I'll teach you a lesson." Xian Wulin was furious. He rushed to the battle stage and cupped his fist at Xinyuan Yi. "Brother Xinyuan, you don't need to deal with a nobody. I'll teach him a lesson for you." "Okay." Xin Yuanyi nodded and moved to the side of the battle stage. In his opinion, it was best that Xin Wulin did it, so that he would not have to do anything. You want to fight? Lu Ming looked at Xin Wulin and said, That's right. I'd like to see what makes you dare to challenge Brother Xin Yuan. Xin Wulin said coldly, You can't. You're too weak. I don't want to torture you. Unexpectedly, Lu Ming shook his head with a look of contempt. Xin Wulin's lungs were about to explode. Who was he? He was one of the 9 absolutes. But today, he had been defeated by Lu Shenhuang, and now, even a nameless person was looking down on him. He was furious, and his killing intent soared. Kid, who doesn't know how to talk nonsense? Show me what you're capable of. Xin Wulin roared. Hundreds of stars appeared all over his body, and hundreds of stars gathered together and blasted towards Lu Ming with extraordinary power. As soon as he attacked, Xin Wulin used his killing move to blast Lu Ming into ashes. Boom! The huge star fell like a meteor, dragging a long tail. Its power was terrifying. But then, Lu Ming moved. There was no energy fluctuation on his body, nor was there any fluctuation of loss. It was just a simple punch. Chapter 23-24. Boom! The punch landed on the huge star. The huge star was like a bubble. It could not withstand a single blow and was burst by Lu Ming's punch. After destroying the star, Lu Ming's fist didn't stop and continued to attack Xin Wulin. Wherever the fist passed, the space would explode, forming a terrifying spatial storm that swept towards Xin Wulin. Xin Wulin was completely enveloped by Lu Ming's fist. It was as if the space around him had solidified, making it difficult for him to move. How is this possible? This thought surfaced in Xin Wulin's heart. Thereafter, Lu Ming's fist landed heavily on his face. Bang! Xin Wulin was sent flying out of the battle stage and crashed heavily on the ground. He lay there, vomiting blood. His face was completely deformed and swollen beyond recognition. Everyone was stunned and looked at Lu Ming in a daze. One punch, just one punch, defeated Xin Wulin. They weren't on the same level at all. It was a complete one-sided defeat. One had to know that Xin Wulin's combat strength was at the 6th order true emperor realm, but he was defeated. Who was this person? They had never seen him before. How could he be so strong? Physical strength. He's an Archean physique cultivator. Suddenly, someone exclaimed. Everyone's heart skipped a beat. Just now, Lu Ming's body didn't have any fluctuations of loss. He relied purely on his physical strength. Only an Archean physique cultivator could cultivate his physical strength to such a level. Baota's eyes lit up. He was also an Archean physique cultivator. He was naturally curious and excited to see another Archean physique cultivator with such shocking combat strength. I told you that you're too weak. I didn't want to torture you, but you just had to ask for it. Lu Ming said indifferently and looked at Xin Wulin with disdain. Xin Wulin vomited a few more mouthfuls of blood. Today, he was defeated by 2 people. One was a 15-year-old boy, and the other easily defeated him with one punch. Today, he was destined to become a laughingstock and be ridiculed by others. Is there anyone else who wants to stand up for Xin Yuanyi? Lu Ming's gaze swept across the young geniuses present. No one spoke. Lu Ming was able to defeat Xin Wulin with one punch. His combat strength was unfathomable. If others were not confident, who would stand up for Xin Yuanyi? In that case, Xin Yuanyi, let's fight. Lu Ming looked at Xin Yuanyi. You have some skills, but you are still far from being able to fight me. Xin Yuanyi stepped out and sneered. In his opinion, defeating Xin Wulin with a single punch was nothing. Black Wulin only had the strength of a 6th order true emperor. Anyone above the 8th order true emperor realm could defeat him in one move. On the other hand, he was a 15th level true emperor, much stronger than Xin Wulin. Therefore, even though Lu Ming had defeated Xin Wulin in one move, he did not think much of Lu Ming. You talk too much. Make your move. Lu Ming said. I've already said that swords and sabers have no eyes. If I accidentally hit you too hard, you'll only have yourself to blame. Xin Yuanyi said coldly as a halberd appeared in his hand. Dong! Xin Yuanyi suddenly took a step forward, and slashed the Fangtian halberd toward Lu Ming. In the process of slashing, the halberd rapidly grew to a length of 1,000 meters and slashed at Lu Ming. Lu Ming took a step forward, and the fighting ring rumbled. His body suddenly dashed out, and he threw out a punch. Lu Ming circulated his physical strength to the maximum for this punch. Boom! Lu Ming's fist and the halberd collided. There was a terrifying roar, and Lu Ming's body retreated madly. He only stopped after retreating a few hundred meters. This person actually blocked Xin Yuanyi's attack. Many people were shocked. Although Lu Ming was at a disadvantage and was pushed back, they were still shocked. Who is this person? He has the strength of a 13th Order True Emperor. There is such a genius among the younger generation in the Heaven Domain? A 13th Order True Emperor was also impressive. Among the 9 peerless youths, only Lin Xiaofeng and Xin Yuanyi had the strength of a 13th Order True Emperor. The third person was only a 10th Order True Emperor. This was almost the pinnacle of the younger generation in the Heaven Domain. There was such a genius among the Archean physique cultivators. Xin Yuanyi's eyes narrowed slightly as a ray of sharpness flashed in them. He was also very surprised that he did not defeat Lu Ming in one move. Let's see how many moves you can take. Die! Xin Yuanyi roared and charged at Lu Ming with the halberd in his hand. My physical strength is still a little lacking, Lu Ming whispered. Now that he had cultivated the 7 gods' mysterious art to the middle of the 4th level, his physical strength was equivalent to a 13th Order True Emperor. He was still not a match for Xin Yuanyi. Boom! Lu Ming punched again. But this time, Lu Ming used the indestructible golden body from the indestructible ancient scripture. The indestructible golden body could turn one's body into a divine weapon. Not only did it have a terrifying defensive power, but it also had a powerful offensive power. The indestructible golden body complemented the powerful physical body of an Archean physique cultivator. The two complemented each other, and the power that erupted was extremely shocking. The law, it's the power of the law. He's cultivating the law system. No, his physical body is too amazing. He's obviously an Archean physique cultivator. He's cultivating both the physical body and the law at the same time. Someone exclaimed, feeling incredulous. It would take many people a lifetime to cultivate one of them. However, Lu Ming had cultivated 2 of them and seemed to have achieved amazing results in both of them. Boom! At this time, Lu Ming and Xin Yuanyi collided for the 2nd time. Another violent roar sounded. This time, Lu Ming and Xin Yuanyi's bodies shook violently and they retreated. Hiss, gasps could be heard, and many people couldn't help but widen their eyes. They were evenly matched. In this move, Lu Ming and Xin Yuanyi were evenly matched. There was actually someone in the world who could fight with Xin Yuanyi. They had already felt that Xin Yuanyi had just unleashed the combat strength of a 15th level true emperor. Even Lin Xiaofeng couldn't contend with such combat strength. However, Lu Ming was able to contend with it, and they were evenly matched. This meant that Lu Ming's combat strength was also at 15th level true emperor. There was actually a genius in the world who had reached such a level. It was simply amazing. Damn it! Lan Cheng roared in his heart and was a little worried. He was worried that if Xin Yuanyi was defeated, his plan today would be ruined and the 100 Chaos Stones would be given to someone else. I must win. Lan Cheng gritted his teeth and whispered. Xin Yuanyi's eyes were also filled with shock. He also didn't expect that there would be another youth in the world who could reach such a level. I'm invincible. This person must die. Xin Yuanyi roared in his heart, and his eyes were filled with cold, killing intent. There was actually a genius in the world who could fight with him. He absolutely couldn't allow such a person to appear. Kill. Chapter 23-25. Xin Yuanyi crossed the void, and the halberd seemed to be able to split the sky as it slashed towards Lu Ming. Wherever it passed, the void was directly split in half, revealing a terrifying dark crack. This kind of attack power could be said to be invincible among the younger generation. No one could stop it. Even Lin Xiaofeng would be defeated by this move. But Lu Ming's face was calm. To be honest, such an attack did not bother him at all. Boom! The muscles and bones of Lu Ming's body vibrated violently, reaching hundreds of millions of times per second. The vibration of his muscles at such an amplitude caused intense friction with the air and space. Lu Ming's body directly rushed out and blasted out a punch. The fist once again collided with the halberd. In the violent roar, the halberd exploded, and Lu Ming's body swayed slightly, but Lu Ming's other fist also blasted out. This punch directly pierced through the space, causing a spatial storm to sweep towards Xianyuan. Lu Ming did not use the power of the world or other magical techniques. He only relied on the strength of his physical body and the immortal golden body. Xianyuan's face changed wildly. His body glowed, and a halberd condensed in his other hand. He slashed out with the halberd and blocked Lu Ming's fist force, but his body was forced to retreat again and again. Xianyuan fell into a disadvantageous position, and his offensive was suppressed by Lu Ming. Lu Ming's muscles and bones vibrated. He did not need to step at all, and his body naturally rushed towards Xianyuan. Boom, boom, boom. Lu Ming kept punching, and the terrifying power smashed the space. Moreover, Lu Ming did not care about defense at all. He only wanted to attack with all his strength. Xianyuan roared, holding a halberd in each hand, madly slashing it, and engaged in a fierce confrontation with Lu Ming. After a few moves, Xianyuan's halberd landed on Lu Ming's shoulder. However, Lu Ming's muscles and bones vibrated rapidly, rebounding most of the power. At the same time, the invincible golden body's defense had also blocked the majority of the power. The other side's halberd could only leave a shallow white mark on Lu Ming's skin. It couldn't even break through Lu Ming's defense. At the same time, Lu Ming punched Xianyuan. Xianyuan's body shook violently, and the sound of bones breaking could be heard from his body. He retreated wildly and spat out large mouthfuls of blood. Many people sucked in a breath of cold air, their hearts trembling. Lu Ming's defensive power was also too astonishing. Xianyuan was not a match at all. The two people's battle prowess was equal. Each person struck the other with a move, but Lu Ming was completely unscathed, while Xianyuan was severely injured. Number one in the world? Is that all you have? Lu Ming said coldly. In the next moment, his figure suddenly rushed towards Xianyuan and launched a new round of fierce attacks. Damn it! Outside the battle platform, Lan Cheng roared in his heart. His eyes were full of anger and cold light. Xianyuan could not be defeated. Once Xianyuan was defeated, his plan would be ruined. Moreover, he still had to take out 100 pieces to give to Lu Ming. He would never allow that. A cold light flashed in his eyes. He took a slight step, and a force rushed towards Lu Ming along the ground. On the side, the heavenly emperors of the other major forces noticed this. Their eyes moved slightly, but no one spoke. Seeing that the force was about to hit Lu Ming silently, at this time, Heavenly Emperor Hong Yu snorted coldly. He also took a slight step, and a force gushed out from the ground, intercepting Lan Cheng's force. Boom! The two forces collided. The ground suddenly exploded, and a large pit appeared. The force was rampant. What's going on? Many people were shocked. Lan Cheng, as a heavenly emperor, you actually secretly attacked a junior. You are really shameless. Or, you see that Xianyuan is about to lose and can't bear to part with the 100 pieces of chaos stones? Since you can't bear to part with it, don't say it first. Heavenly Emperor Hong Yu said coldly. Many people's gazes swept towards Lan Cheng. Seeing Lan Cheng's gloomy face, they came to a realization. It seemed that Lan Cheng saw that Xianyuan was about to lose and secretly attacked, but was intercepted by Heavenly Emperor Hong Yu. Damn it! Lan Cheng roared in his heart, but he could not flare up. He could only keep a sullen face and not speak. While at this time, the battle situation on the battle stage was already completely one-sided. Lu Ming launched a torrential attack, completely ignoring defense, only attacking. Xianyuan was not a match at all. Even if he resisted with all his might, he could not block more than a few moves too. Bang! Lu Ming's punch hit Xianyuan's chest, almost piercing through his chest. Xianyuan vomited large mouthfuls of blood, his body retreating wildly. Lu Ming pursued and blasted out another punch. Xianyuan's body was sent flying out like a cannonball. Half of his body exploded. His body flew out of the battle stage, flying towards the crowd. Lan Cheng's face was gloomy. With a wave of his hand, a force wrapped around Lan Cheng, catching him. At the same time, it helped Lan Cheng recover from his injuries. Defeated. Xin Yuan Yi was defeated. Lu Ming defeated Xin Yuan Yi with absolute superiority. Everyone's hearts were complicated. They knew that an even more terrifying heaven's chosen was born. The pitiful Xin Yuan Yi had just defeated Lin Xiaofeng and just ascended to the throne of the Nine Absolutes #1. His but had not even warmed up the seat yet, and he was kicked off the throne by someone. Is there anyone else who wants to come up and challenge me? Lu Ming did not look at Xin Yuan Yi anymore. His gaze turned to other directions. No one responded. Lu Ming's combat strength was so horrifying. Even Xin Yuan Yi could not withstand a single blow. Who could still be his match? Since no one answers the challenge, then I'll be #1 this time. Lu Ming opened his mouth, his gaze turning to Lan Cheng, and he said, Family head Lan, since I got #1, then those 100 chaos gems are mine. Lan Cheng's heart ached. 100 chaos gems was not a small number. Even if the Lan family was large, it would not be easy to take out 100 chaos gems. Originally, he thought that Xin Yuan Yi would definitely get first place. Giving 100 chaos gems to Lan Cheng's son-in-law to help the Lan family's son-in-law advance to the next level was naturally not a loss. However, he could not bear to give 100 chaos gems to someone else. Kid, who exactly are you? I know you used a disguise technique to hide your head and tail. You didn't even tell me your name, yet you still want to get 100 chaos gems. What a joke. Lan Cheng sneered. He began to find excuses. Ha ha ha, Lan Cheng. Are you trying to cheat? That's not what you said before. You released the news that as long as it's the younger generation, whoever gets first place will get 100 chaos gems. Now you're looking for so many excuses. I know you must have thought that Xin Yuan Yi would definitely get first place at first, so you took out 100 chaos gems to prepare for him. However, you used 100 chaos gems as a gimmick to attract others to set off Xin Yuan Yi. You're treating everyone in the world like monkeys. Lu Ming mocked. Nonsense. How dare you slander me? Show your true form. I want to confirm your identity. Otherwise, don't even think about getting 100 chaos gems. Lan Cheng said, All right, since you want to see, then let's see. Lu Ming said. After saying that, his appearance changed rapidly and returned to his original appearance. His aura also recovered. Lu Ming. Chapter 23-26. At the sight of Lu Ming's appearance, Lan Cheng could not help but widen his eyes and yell. The others were also dumbfounded. How is this possible? Isn't Lu Ming dead? Blue Cloud, Hung Xinghe, Yuan Xian, and the others roared in disbelief. Huang Ling, Long Chun, Bubbles, and the others were overjoyed. I was wondering who could have such powerful combat strength. It turns out to be Lu Ming. It's amazing. Lu Ming has only been an emperor for a few years, but he can suppress Xin Yuan Yi. He's invincible in his generation. It's incredible. He just used his physical strength and didn't use the power of laws. Indeed. Hiss. All around, there was a hubbub of noise as the sounds of discussion converged into one. Lu Ming was too famous. He had become an emperor with many different laws, which was unprecedented. As soon as he became an emperor, he defeated Xin Wulin, one of the 9 absolutes, which shocked the entire heaven field. A few years later, he defeated and captured the prince of a foreign tribe outside the Two-World City. That battle had pushed Lu Ming's reputation to the peak, but it was far from comparable to today's battle. In today's battle, Lu Ming defeated Xin Yuan Yi and became the strongest of the younger generation in the Tian Yuan world. It seemed that every time Lu Ming appeared, his combat strength would increase by leaps and bounds. The speed of his improvement was shocking. Fa. Father. At this moment, Lu Shenhuang stood up and stared at Lu Ming without blinking. There was astonishment, surprise, anticipation, curiosity, and other emotions on his face. Lu Ming also heard Lu Shenhuang's voice. He turned around and looked at Lu Shenhuang. Their eyes met. Lu Ming nodded slightly and smiled. Lu Shenhuang took a deep breath and suppressed his excitement. He stepped forward and came to the fighting ring to face Lu Ming. His mother's comment about his father rang in his mind, unparalleled in the world. Today, he saw that it was true. Father, Lu Shenhuang spoke again. Your mother is Xian Yinqing? Lu Ming could not help but ask. Although he already knew that Lu Shenhuang's mother was definitely Xian Yinqing, he still couldn't help but ask to confirm it. Yes. Lu Shenhuang nodded firmly. A smile appeared on Lu Ming's face. Looking at Lu Shenhuang, who was 70 to 80% similar to himself, there was an indescribable feeling in his heart. She didn't expect that after parting with Xian Yinqing for more than 10 years, they already had a son, and he was already so old. Divine Wasteland, step aside first. After I settle the matters here, I'll go with you to find your mother, Lu Ming said. All right. Lu Shenhuang nodded and retreated to his seat. Lu Ming turned around and faced Lan Cheng. At this moment, Lan Cheng's face was contorted with a ferocious expression, and a murderous intent emerged in his eyes. Lu Ming, you still dare to appear here? Good, very good. Lan Cheng said coldly. Why can't I appear here? Lu Ming sneered and asked. A few years ago, on the battlefield outside Two World City, you killed the beings of the Heaven region and stole their treasures and resources. This is a serious crime, and you must pay with your life. Lan Cheng said coldly. Ha ha ha, a thief crying thief. Since that's the case, I'll explain everything today. Lu Ming laughed heartily. He then recounted how the Lan family and the Yin family had besieged him, and how the Lan family and the Yin family had killed Bai Tai, and the rest to silence him when Bai Tai and the rest arrived. How could such a thing happen? Many people's eyes flickered as they pondered. Back then, the Lan family had announced that Lu Ming had killed them and stolen their treasures, and the Lan family and Yin family had encountered him. According to the rules of Two World City, they had attacked Lu Ming. Could there be such a secret? Nonsense. Lan Cheng scolded. Nonsense? I suspect that the people of the Lan family were instructed by your Lan city to steal my indestructible ancient scripture, but in the end, they were discovered and killed to silence me. Then, they framed me for the crime. Such behavior is not worthy of being called a great family of the heavenly world. In my opinion, the one who should be punished is you, your Lan family. Lu Ming shouted. Presumptuous! How dare you slander me? Today, no matter how glib your tongue is, you will be punished. Men, take Lu Ming down, cripple his cultivation, and throw him into prison. Lan Cheng shouted. Bang! Bang! Immediately, two experts from the Lan family stepped out. They exuded a powerful aura and dashed toward Lu Ming. These two great emperors were extremely powerful. Let's see who dares. Heavenly Emperor Hung Yu shouted coldly, and a terrifying aura erupted from his body. With a wave of his hand, a giant hand formed and pressed towards the two great emperors. Hung Yu, I'm afraid it's not up to you to protect Lu Ming. Lan Cheng roared and rushed out. His heavenly emperor cultivation also erupted. With a press of his hand, a heavenly lion roared and pounced towards heavenly Emperor Hung Yu's giant hand. Boom! With a shocking explosion, Lan Cheng's face changed drastically. His body was directly sent flying as he looked at Heavenly Emperor Hung Yu in shock. He was no match for Heavenly Emperor Hung Yu at all. At the same time, the two great emperors from the Lan family were also sent flying by Heavenly Emperor Hung Yu's remaining force. Hung Yu, you want to violate the rules of the Heaven region by yourself? You want to go against everyone? Lu Ming has committed a crime, and he must be punished. Lan Cheng shouted. The one who is guilty is your Lan family. The one who went against everyone in the Heaven region is your Lan family. Lu Ming shouted. A bunch of nonsense. Lan Cheng said. Hee, if what I said is a bunch of nonsense, then isn't what you said a bunch of farts? Lu Ming scolded coldly. How dare you? Lan Cheng roared. Lu Ming, a junior, actually dared to go against him and contradict him. It was simply impudent. The anger in his heart soared to the sky, and he wished he could slap Lu Ming to death. Fellow Taoists, lend me a hand. Lan Cheng's gaze looked at the Yin family's heavenly emperor, Luo family's heavenly emperor, Vast Expanse Hall Master, and the rest. These forces were on good terms with the Lan family. They even had marriage relations with the Lan family. Lu Ming killed his fellow Heavenly Realm cultivators and stole their treasures. In my opinion, he was able to rise so quickly by relying on such methods. It's simply a heinous crime, and he deserves to be punished. The Yin family's Heavenly Emperor stepped out and walked side by side with Lan Cheng. A powerful aura erupted as they resisted Heavenly Emperor Hong Yu together. That's right. Today, Lu Ming must be taken down. Cripple his cultivation and interrogate him strictly. The Luo family's Heavenly Emperor also stepped out. Following that, 2 more people stepped out. They were both Heavenly Emperors. One was the vast hall's Hall Master, and the other was Xing He's Master, a terrifying Heavenly Emperor powerhouse. 5 Heavenly Emperor powerhouses stood together, and their aura was shocking. Hong Yu, I've said it before. Today, you alone can't stop us. Lu Ming must be taken down. Lan Cheng sneered. Then, he stared at Lu Ming. With a stretch of his hand, a terrifying force condensed into a giant hand and grabbed at Lu Ming. You dare? Chapter 23-27. Heavenly Emperor Hong Yu gave a long howl. Heavenly Tao pressure erupted. The entire world was trembling, terrifying to the extreme. Bang! Heavenly Emperor Hong Yu made his move. A battle sword appeared in his hand, a sword slashing toward Lan Cheng. Hong Yu, I'll face you. Xing Xinha's master was a gray-robed old man. He made his move, a palm rumbling toward Heavenly Emperor Hong Yu. The 2 people exchanged a move, sharing the limelight. Xing Xinha's master was also an extremely terrifying existence. Even among Heavenly Emperors, he was an expert, not weaker than Heavenly Emperor Hong Yu. While at this time, Lan Cheng's large hand already approached Lu Ming. But Lu Ming stood calmly on the battle stage, his expression unchanged. It was as if he did not see Lan Cheng's attack. Right at this time, an old man suddenly appeared beside Lu Ming. The old man's expression was calm, a punch rumbling out. This punch did not have the slightest bit of energy surge, and also did not have any power of law. It was just pure power. But when this punch rumbled out, the large hand that Lan Cheng condensed directly exploded. The terrifying fist force continued rumbling toward Lan Cheng. Lan Cheng's expression changed, hurriedly using a divine ability art. A heavenly lion pounced out. With a rumble, Lan Cheng's body trembled, involuntarily retreating repeatedly, looking at the old man beside Lu Ming with a look of shock. Primordial Physique Cultivator, you're a Primordial Physique Cultivator. A Heavenly Emperor Realm Physique Cultivator. Who are you? Lan Cheng roared angrily, extremely shocked. He did not expect that there was actually a Heavenly Emperor Realm existence following beside Lu Ming. Furthermore, it was a physique cultivator powerhouse that he had never seen before. Heavenly Emperor Realm Physique Cultivator. In the crowd, Baoda's eyes emitted an excited light. At the scene, the others were also extremely shocked. There was actually a Heavenly Emperor Realm Physique Cultivator following beside Lu Ming, helping Lu Ming at the critical moment. Primordial Physique Cultivators were virtually almost lost until now. The people who cultivated were extremely few, and those who could cultivate to success were even fewer. Presently, in the Heavenly Realm, there was only one known person who could reach Heavenly Emperor Realm Physique Cultivator. But it was absolutely not the person in front of them. Could it be that this physique cultivator powerhouse did not come into being and has been living in seclusion all along? Someone guessed. Fellow Taoist, are you planning to make an enemy out of me and my Lan clan because of a mere junior? Lan Cheng stared at the old man and said coldly. His words contained a hint of threat. If anyone dares to touch him, I'll smash them to death with a single punch. The old man pointed at Lu Ming and spoke indifferently. His words were very simple and clear, but it caused everyone to be stunned. Whoever dared to touch Lu Ming, he would smash them to death with a single punch. This made many people gasp. These were the words of a celestial emperor, and no one would doubt them. Lan Cheng's expression darkened as he said, I'm afraid you alone won't be enough. The Yin clan's Heavenly Emperor, the Luo clan's Heavenly Emperor, and the Boundless Palace's Palace Master also unleashed their terrifying auras to suppress the Elder. But in the next moment, 3 more old men appeared beside Lu Ming. They were wearing the same clothes as the previous old man. Their expressions were calm, but a terrifying aura erupted from them, crushing the aura of the Yin clan's Heaven Sovereign and the others. Lan Cheng, the pupils of the Yin clan's Heavenly Emperor, and the rest constricted sharply, revealing looks of disbelief. Heavenly Emperors were all Heavenly Emperor realm powerhouses. Furthermore, they were all body cultivators. How was this possible? At the scene, the others were also stunned, dumbfounded. There were actually so many Heavenly Emperor realm powerhouses by Lu Ming's side. This force was too terrifying. The Long clan side could not do anything to Lu Ming at all. Damn it! How is this possible? Where did these powerhouses pop out from? Lan Cheng roared angrily in his heart. As a Heavenly Emperor realm powerhouse, he had basically seen or heard of all the Heavenly Emperors in the Grand Pure Heavenly Domain. But he had never heard of these few old men in front of him. Where did so many Heavenly Emperor realm body cultivators pop out from? Could it be those old monsters in seclusion? Lan Cheng could not help thinking. The Grand Pure Heavenly Domain, or the Primordial Realm, naturally had some old monsters in seclusion. Their cultivation base and strength were terrifying. Generally, they were cultivating bitterly in seclusion. Only when the foreign races launched a truly terrifying war would these powerhouses come out. At this moment, many thoughts flashed through Lan Cheng's mind. Lan Cheng, hand over those who chased me on the battlefield that day, and those who killed Senior Bai Tai and the others. Also, hand over the Yin clan. I want to see all of them. Lu Ming took a step forward, staring at Lan Cheng intently. His voice spread across the entire place. Lu Ming would not let any of those who attacked back then go. All of them had to die. How dare you? Those people were clearly killed by you, and now you want me to call for reinforcements? Lan Cheng roared. Even now, he still insisted that Lu Ming had killed them and robbed them of their treasures. Lu Ming, although I don't know where you found these helpers from, my Lan clan is not afraid of you. Lan Cheng continued to shout, his body erupting with a shocking aura. The Yin clan's Heavenly Emperor, the Luo clan's Heavenly Emperor, and the vast hall's Palace Master also raised their auras to the extreme. The world was filled with a terrifying heavenly Dao pressure. Bam, bam, bam. Several old body cultivators took a small step forward. This small step caused the entire ground to tremble. The battle stage under their feet was directly reduced to dust. Lan Cheng and the others' expressions changed slightly, and they could not help but take a few steps back. In the confrontation of auras, they were at a disadvantage. This made their expressions extremely ugly. Everyone, are you just going to watch and let Lu Ming be arrogant here? This kid killed people and robbed them of their treasures. His character is extremely bad, but his talent is high. We must not let him continue to grow. Lan Cheng looked at some of the others. Today, the Heavenly Emperors that came were not only the Yin clan's Heavenly Emperor and the Luo clan's Heavenly Emperor, but there were also a few other Heavenly Emperors. However, their relationship with the Lan clan was not that good, so they did not make a move before. At this time, these people's eyes were flickering. They were considering if they should help the Lan family or not help either side. Lu Ming's talent was too shocking. If this continued, he would become a top expert sooner or later. Moreover, he had many powerful experts by his side to help him. If they offended Lu Ming, if Lu Ming did not die, they would be the ones in trouble in the future. Therefore, these people were hesitant for a while. Today, I will take those people, Lu Ming said coldly, and then sent out a message. Rumble. Just as Lu Ming sent out the message, a violent roar came from the depths of the sky. Then, the sky cracked open, and an incomparably huge palace appeared in the depths of the sky. Above it, there was a gray mist that filled the air. This is the Chaos Palace. Many people's pupils shrank, revealing a look of shock. The Chaos Emperor's Chaos Palace was extremely famous in the Heaven Domain. Although the Chaos Emperor had fallen long ago, he had left behind some powerful puppets. More than 10 years ago, they had shown their terrifying strength in another battlefield. Now, why would the Chaos Palace suddenly appear here? Everyone was puzzled. At this time, 9 rays of light flew out from the Chaos Palace. Those were 9 figures, each of them exuding a shocking aura. Heavenly Emperors. Chapter 23-28. In the blink of an eye, 9 figures came out of the Chaos Palace and stood in the sky above this square. Everyone at the scene held their breaths, because these 9 figures were all Heavenly Emperor realm existences. 9 Heavenly Emperors came all of a sudden. What kind of terrifying force was this? Lu Ming's mouth curled into a smile. These 9 people were 2E, Goldie, and the rest. They had long been nearby. Just now, Lu Ming sent them a voice transmission, which was why they appeared. So it's fellow Taoists from the Chaos Palace. Today, my Lan family's daughter is getting married. I didn't expect that fellow Taoists would actually come here. Your presence brings light to my humble dwelling. Lan Cheng had a bright smile on his face as he greeted 2E and the rest. However, 2E and the rest ignored Lan Cheng and flew directly to Lu Ming. Then, they bowed to Lu Ming. Subordinate pays respect to young master. What? Everyone was stunned by his words. Most of the people revealed a dumbfounded look. Their eyes were wide open, and their mouths were agape. At this moment, they seemed to have become idiots. What did the 9 Heavenly Emperors of the Chaos Palace call Lu Ming? Young master? The 9 Heavenly Emperors of the Chaos Palace were Lu Ming's subordinates? At this moment, many people felt that their brains had turned into paste. It was difficult to think, and they even thought that they were dreaming. Lan Cheng's expression was also stiff. His eyes were wide open, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. Following that, a trace of fear emerged. Even Heavenly Emperor Hongyu and a few body cultivator elders were a little surprised. They did not expect that there were actually so many terrifying powerhouses behind Lu Ming. Lu Ming is indeed worthy of being Lu Ming. Long Chun, Huang Li, and the rest sighed. Next, I want to follow Lu Ming. I will follow him no matter what in the future. My hair. The unscrupulous monk madly chanted Buddha's name. This is my father? Lu Shenhuang whispered. Looking at the figure standing among the many heavenly emperors, it was like a moon surrounded by stars. At this moment, Lu Shenhuang felt inexplicably proud, because this person was his father. Although this was the first time they had met, he was still proud and excited. Primal Chaos Palace. Damn it. All of this should have been mine. In the crowd, Yuan Xian roared in her heart. Because of jealousy, her eyes were red. Yuan Xian had seen 2E and the others before. Back then, Yuan Xian and the others had told him that he had to defeat Lu Ming in order to become the young master of the Primal Chaos Palace. However, in the end, it was Lu Ming who defeated him, so he naturally lost the qualifications to inherit the Primal Chaos Palace. What he did not expect even more was that 2E and the rest were actually Heavenly Emperor realm powerhouses. This made him go crazy with jealousy. How great would it be if he inherited all of this? But now, he could only roar in his heart. He didn't dare to make a sound. He was extremely sullen. Seniors, there's no need to be so courteous. I'll have to trouble all of you today. Lu Ming smiled. Young master's enemy is our enemy. Tui turned around and looked at Lan Cheng and the others. 9 heavenly emperors, how terrifying was their aura. The faces of Lan Cheng and the others changed wildly as they retreated again and again. The gap was too big. Lu Ming had more than a dozen heavenly emperors on his side. They completely crushed Lan Cheng and the others, causing their faces to be extremely ugly. Hand over those people from back then. Not a single one of them. Lu Ming stared at Lan Cheng and said coldly, Lu Ming, it's clearly you who killed people and stole their treasures. My Lan family's people are only following the Heaven Realm's rules to hunt you down. Yet, you harbor a grudge in your heart and want to kill them. Outrageous. How can there be such logic in this world? Lan Cheng roared and continued to quibble, using the Heaven Realm's rules to suppress Lu Ming. Lu Ming sneered. He had already lost his patience and was too lazy to argue with the other party. Lan Cheng, you don't have to quibble here and use the Heaven Realm's rules to suppress me. I'm not here to reason with you today, but to ask for the people. Today, you have to hand them over even if you don't want to. Understand? Lu Ming said indifferently. These words made many people's hearts tremble, and they were shocked to the extreme. Lu Ming's words were very obvious. Today, he was not here to reason, but to ask for the people. The Lan family must hand over the people, even if they don't want to. This was forcing the Lan family to hand over the people. A junior actually forced a heavenly emperor. No, not just a heavenly emperor, but several powerful forces. This was simply domineering. Many young people were watching with their blood boiling. Lan Cheng, the Yin family's heavenly emperor, and others had ugly expressions. If it weren't for the fact that there were too many experts standing beside Lu Ming, they would have slapped Lu Ming to death long ago. But now, they could only endure. Hurry up and call for help. Today, if the Lan family doesn't hand over the people, then I will slaughter the Lan family and the Yin family each, and bury them with Senior Bai Tai. Lu Ming said coldly. He had already lost his patience. You dare? Lan Cheng, the Yin family's heavenly emperor, roared. Why wouldn't I dare? Kill. Lu Ming shouted and rushed directly to the Lan family's area. There, countless Lan family disciples gathered. You're courting death. Lan Cheng roared furiously, wanting to deal with Lu Ming. However, Tui threw a punch one after another. Many huge mountains appeared and blasted Lan Cheng backward continuously. The Lan family's great emperors wanted to attack, but Jin Yi appeared and released a terrifying aura. All the great emperors of the Lan family vomited blood and retreated. Kill! Lu Ming roared and threw out a punch. Bang! Bang! 7 to 8 true emperors from the Lan family were killed by Lu Ming. Blood and flesh splattered all over the place. Lu Ming showed no mercy when facing the Lan family. Bai Tai was killed by the Lan family and the Yin family. He must avenge this. Lu Ming, you're crazy. You killed the experts of the heavenly world. These people are the power to fight against the foreign races, but you killed your own people. Are you a spy of the foreign races? Lan Cheng roared. He was going crazy. Lu Ming was too decisive, killing the experts of the Lan family directly. At this moment, the people of the Lan family scattered in fear. Ha ha ha, how many can these trash kill? In the future? I can kill 1,000 times, 10,000 times more of them. I alone can fight against thousands of them. Kill. Lu Ming roared and threw out another punch. A few experts of the Lan family were killed. Run, run. Blue Cloud was also mixed in the crowd. He was running away in fear. In his opinion, Lu Ming was a madman. However, at the next moment, he screamed in horror. Lu Ming had fixed his eyes on him and appeared above his head in an instant. He stepped on Lan Yun's face, and Lan Yun screamed in pain. His body fell heavily to the ground, and he screamed in agony. Let go of Blue Cloud. Lan Cheng roared and his eyes turned red. Blue Cloud was not an ordinary person. He was a top genius and had the potential to become a heavenly emperor in the future. He must not die. He tried his best to attack Lu Ming, but he was blocked by 2-1. Hand him over. Lu Ming's response was only 2 simple words. His voice was sonorous and powerful. At this moment, the scene was silent as if time had frozen. There was only one person in everyone's eyes, and that was Lu Ming. Chapter 23-29. Luo family's heavenly emperor, Xinghe's master, and the rest, had ugly expressions, but none made a move. The power that Lu Ming brought was too strong. More than a dozen heavenly emperors, if they made a move, it would only be courting death. Young man, you're too much. Right at this time, a voice suddenly sounded out. The direction that the voice came from was the depths of the Lan family. The voice was old, seemingly full of the aura of time. Ordinary people were still fine, but Heavenly Emperor Hongyu, Earth One, Gold One, and the rest, after hearing this voice, their expressions changed wildly, revealing solemn looks. Because this voice gave them a lot of pressure. Ancestor, ancestor, Lan Cheng cried out excitedly. Many people's hearts shook wildly. Legend had it that the Lan family had a peerless powerhouse guarding, always hiding in the depths of the Lan family, in close seclusion all year round. That was a 4-star heavenly emperor. Could it be that it was this one? Was the Lan family's peerless powerhouse going to come into being? Bang! Just as everyone's imagination was running wild, a burst of qi erupted from the depths of the Lan family. This qi was ancient and powerful, shocking the heavens and the earth. Even the heavenly emperors felt a terrifying pressure, their faces extremely solemn. Bang! It was as if the ancient heavenly Tao was pressing down on everyone's hearts. Many with weak cultivation had to kneel down. Then, a figure appeared in the depths of the Lan family. This was an old man, wearing a coarse hemp garment, white hair fluttering in the wind, stepping on the air and coming over. Each step he took seemed to be stepping on people's hearts, making people's heartbeats accelerate. We pay respects to ancestor. The Lan family's people bowed one after another, their faces revealing wild elation. Ha ha ha, my Lan family's ancestor came into being. Lu Ming, you dare to kill my Lan family's people. You're dead, you're dead. I'm going to skin you alive and pull out your tendons, making you never reincarnate for all eternity. Blue Cloud roared loudly, his face full of madness and malevolence. Is that so? In that case, I can't let you off even more. Lu Ming's expression was calm, opening his mouth indifferently, filled with ice-cold killing intent. Blue Cloud's expression changed wildly, roaring loudly, Lu Ming, what are you trying to do? Bang! Lu Ming suddenly stomped down on Blue Cloud's face. A terrifying force exploded out. Blue Cloud let out a miserable scream. All his bones had been shattered by Lu Ming, and his meridians had also been turned to dust by Lu Ming. Blue Cloud had turned into a pile of mud and was lying limply on the ground. His eyes were wide open and filled with disbelief. He wasn't dead, but he couldn't even scream. The others gasped and looked at Lu Ming in shock. They thought that Lu Ming would not dare to make a move when the peerless masters of the Lan family appeared. However, he severely injured Blue Cloud in front of the peerless masters of the Lan family with one kick. Lu Ming, you're courting death. Lan Cheng roared. The Lan family's patriarch's face darkened as well. The other party actually severely injured Blue Cloud in front of him. This was completely slapping his face. Young man, you're young and impetuous. Now, let go of Blue Cloud and kneel down to cripple your cultivation. The Lan family's patriarch said coldly, Get lost. Lu Ming's response was only one word, get lost. This word caused everyone's expression to change wildly. Lu Ming was simply audacious, actually telling a peerless powerhouse to get lost? The Lan family's patriarch's face completely darkened as he said coldly, young and ignorant, Then I'll teach you a lesson on behalf of your elders. After the Lan family's patriarch finished speaking, he took a step forward and charged towards Lu Ming at an astonishing speed. However, in the next moment, an old man appeared in front of Lu Ming, a body cultivator's supreme elder. Get lost. The Lan family's patriarch shouted coldly and reached out a large hand to grab the body cultivator's supreme elder. He was a peerless powerhouse. Ordinary heavenly emperors were not his match at all. However, this body cultivator's supreme elder's expression was calm as he threw out a punch. Bang! The body cultivator's supreme elder's fist collided with the Lan family's patriarch's palm. However, the result was beyond everyone's expectations. The Lan family's patriarch's expression changed drastically. His body trembled as if he had been electrocuted, retreating repeatedly. One of his arms was somewhat deformed. On the other hand, the body cultivator's grand elder didn't even sway a bit. Everyone could not help but stare with wide eyes. This body cultivator powerhouse was actually able to blast back the Lan family's peerless powerhouse with one punch. This was too shocking. Could it be that he was also a peerless powerhouse? Lu Ming's expression was calm. Among the body cultivators, there was indeed a peerless powerhouse. He was the archaic body cultivator lineage's strongest supreme elder. So it's a kindred spirit. Today, I want to experience it. The Lan family's patriarch spoke coldly and urged his strength to the limit. Bang! The Lan family's patriarch's figure enlarged with extreme speed, turning into a giant that could support heaven and earth. He blasted out a terrifying move. A streak of divine light slashed down violently toward the body cultivator's old man. Heavenly Emperor powerhouses were able to borrow the power of Heavenly Tao to launch terrifying attacks. In this streak of divine light, there was the power of Heavenly Tao. It was indestructible and could annihilate everything. However, the body cultivator's supreme elder still just blasted a punch out. This punch seemed to be able to pierce through the universe, able to defeat heavenly Tao. Bang! The divine light that the Lan family's patriarch slashed out was directly pierced through. The terrifying fist force penetrated heaven and earth. The Lan family's patriarch gave a muffled groan, his body retreating wildly, retreating several tens of thousands of miles. His body trembled, spewing out a mouthful of fresh blood. Everyone sucked in a cold breath, perilous waves stirring up in their hearts. The Lan family's patriarch was defeated, beaten until he vomited blood in one move by a body cultivator powerhouse. He was completely no match for him. How can this be? Lan Cheng, as well as the other Lan family's people, the Yin family's heavenly emperor, and the rest, all revealed shock and disbelief. The Lan family's patriarch was actually no match, being injured by the other party's one punch. Blue Cloud's eyes were filled with despair. Hand him over. At this moment, Lu Ming continued to speak, his voice becoming colder and colder. Sigh. The Lan family's patriarch sighed, revealing a helpless expression. He understood that he was no match for the body cultivator's elder at all. If he insisted on fighting, he would definitely be the one to die. Lu Ming, my Lan family can hand him over, but you have to let Blue Cloud go. The Lan family's patriarch looked at Lu Ming. Let Blue Cloud go? Wait for him to take revenge on me? Didn't you hear him shouting that he wanted me to live a life worse than death? Moreover, Blue Cloud has been trying to kill me in the past. I have already spared him a few times. If he doesn't know how to cherish the opportunity, then there won't be a future. Lu Ming said coldly. Blue Cloud revealed a look of horror and despair, wanting to struggle with all his might. However, all the bones and meridians in his body had been shattered by Lu Ming, and he couldn't move at all. Boom! Lu Ming's power erupted, bombarding Blue Cloud's body. Blue Cloud's body directly exploded, turning into ashes and dissipating. A top-notch Sky Pride was killed by Lu Ming just like that. Lan Cheng and the other powerhouses of the Lan family were red-eyed, and their hearts were bleeding. The Lan family had produced many Sky Prides in this generation, but they only had 2 top-notch Sky Prides. But now, one of them was killed in public. Moreover, it was in front of Lan Cheng, the Lan family's patriarch, and countless other powerhouses. Chapter 23:30. Lan family's old ancestor, Lan Cheng, and the rest were enraged. Cold killing intent emanated from their bodies as they wished they could slap Lu Ming to death. However, when they saw Heavenly Emperor Hengyu, the physique cultivators, and the 9 heavenly emperors from the Chaos Palace, they held themselves back. There were so many heavenly emperors and even some peerless experts. This force was enough to wipe the Lan family off the face of this world. Therefore, they did not dare to kill Lu Ming. In fact, if they wanted to kill Lu Ming in the future, they would not dare to let others know. Otherwise, this force would be enough to wipe them out. They were mad with hatred, but now, they could only suppress it in their stomachs. Hand him over, Lu Ming said indifferently again. Lan Cheng almost vomited blood from anger, and so did the rest of the Lan family. Lan family's old ancestor's face was incomparably gloomy as he squeezed out a word. Hand him over. Go and find those who attacked Lu Ming back then, Lan Cheng ordered. Not long after, some true emperors from the Lan family arrived. They were all the people who killed Bai Tai and Lu Ming back then. At this time, these people looked at Lu Ming in horror. Yin family, where are your people? Lu Ming looked at the Yin family's heavenly emperor and said coldly, our Yin family's people are not here. It will take time to call them over. The Yin family's heavenly emperor said, I'll wait here. Lu Ming spoke calmly. He really started to wait there. At the scene, everyone was discussing in low voices. No one left and they all waited here. Time passed day by day. Finally, a rainbow light rushed over from afar. The Yin family's people had arrived. Some of them were the ones who attacked Lu Ming back then. When they saw Lu Ming, their faces changed drastically. Some were in disbelief. They thought that Lu Ming was dead. They did not expect that Lu Ming was still alive and well. After that, a master from the Yin family told the Yin family about what had happened. He hadn't told them before because he was afraid that they would resist and run away. Hearing this, The Yin family members were terrified. They simply couldn't believe that Lu Ming would force the Yin family's heavenly emperor to hand them over. Back then, it was the Yin family's celestial emperor who ordered them to attack Lu Ming. But now, the Yin family's celestial emperor was going to hand them over to protect himself. However, they didn't dare to say anything. This was the celestial emperor's decision. The celestial emperor's orders couldn't be disobeyed. They still had family and friends. The people from the Lan family and the Yin family gathered together. There were dozens of people in total. Lu Ming's gaze swept across these people. He remembered each and every one of them very clearly. Being swept by Lu Ming's gaze, these people all revealed frightened expressions. Boom! Lu Ming took a step forward, causing the void to tremble. I can give you a chance to fight me. As long as you can kill me, you can live. Lu Ming said indifferently. The Lan and Yin family's eyes lit up. Even the Lan family's ancestor, Lan Cheng, and the Yin family's heavenly emperor's eyes lit up. Although Lu Ming had defeated Xinyuan Yi only had the strength of a 15th level true emperor. On the other hand, these people had the strength of 17th level true emperors. One of them had even broken through in the past 2 years, reaching 18th level true emperor. Among them, there were more than a dozen 16th level true emperors and 15th level true emperors. This kind of strength was enough to kill Lu Ming. This was an excellent opportunity. Lu Ming was courting death. If they were to kill Lu Ming, the Chaos Hall's heavenly emperor and the rest would have nothing to say. Promise him that you will seize the opportunity to kill him. As long as you can kill him, I will reward you handsomely. I will do my best to help you become a great emperor. Lan Cheng transmitted to these people. Those people's eyes lit up, especially the few strongest experts, whose eyes were incomparably bright. This might be a blessing in disguise. As long as they could kill Lu Ming, they would be handsomely rewarded. Bang! Bang! Lu Ming stepped on the void like a primordial beast. Every step he took caused the void to rumble as he closed in on the true emperors from the Lan and Yin clans. Attack! One of them roared and charged at Lu Ming. Pulling one hair would affect the whole body. When one person attacked, the others all charged at Lu Ming. There were dozens of true emperors, and the weakest among them was a 10th order true emperor. Their combined strength was terrifying. Dozens of attacks came at Lu Ming from all directions, wanting to drown Lu Ming. Can Lu Ming be their match? Everyone's eyes were fixated on the battlefield. Boom! At this time, Lu Ming made his move. He ignored the attacks in front of him and charged forward with brute force. The attacks that landed on Lu Ming's body were destroyed. Die! Lu Ming roared and punched out with both fists. Streaks of terrifying fist force blasted forward. In front of him, there were 5 to 6 figures. Their bodies were like huge watermelons, and they were directly blasted into the air. So strong. Many people's hearts trembled. Those people were all 10th order true emperors and above. There was even a 15th order true emperor among them, but they were still killed by Lu Ming with a single punch. After killing those people, Lu Ming didn't stop and continued to charge forward. Lu Ming pushed his physical strength to the limit. At the same time, he erupted with world force and several types of laws. Lu Ming only used 4 types of laws, but these people were no match for him. Boom! A fist energy that was as thick as a mountain blasted open a large hole in the air. Wherever the fist energy passed, another 5 or 6 people were killed. One of them was a 16th level true emperor. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. They finally understood that Lu Ming didn't use his full strength in his battle with Xinyuan Yi. Otherwise, he could have killed Xinyuan Yi in one move. Xinyuan Yi's expression turned ugly. Those below 15th order true emperor retreat and attack from afar. Those above 15th order true emperor attack. Someone shouted. All of a sudden, they formed a temporary formation. Those below the 15th level of the true emperor retreated and attacked Lu Ming from the rear. Those above 15th order true emperor attacked Lu Ming fiercely. There were 2 17th level true emperors and 1 18th level true emperor. Their battle prowess was the most frightening. They launched a sure kill attack. Die! Lu Ming didn't dodge and punched out. A 17th order true emperor's attack was destroyed by Lu Ming. Lu Ming's fist energy continued to crush his body. He screamed in despair as his body was torn apart. Whoosh! Lu Ming's body spun, and his right leg swept out like a whip towards another 17th Order True Emperor. This person couldn't withstand a single blow. Just like the previous one, he was sent flying for tens of thousands of miles by Lu Ming's kick before exploding. What? Everyone was shocked, their bodies and souls trembling. In particular, those who had fought with Lu Ming were even more shocked, revealing a horrified and incredulous expression. Two 17th Order True Emperors couldn't withstand a single blow from Lu Ming. Chapter 23:31. The others who were fighting Lu Ming turned pale with fright, especially the 18th level True Emperor. He could not kill two True Emperors with combat strength of 17th level True Emperor so easily. Lu Ming's combat strength was far above his. Run, run. The remaining people had the same thought and turned to run. The 18th level True Emperor was the fastest. You want to run? A cold glint flashed in Lu Ming's eyes as his six-feathered wings appeared. With a flap, Lu Ming caught up to the 18th level True Emperor. Seeing that he could not escape, the powerhouse with the combat strength of a level 18 True Emperor turned around and roared. He unleashed all his strength and charged toward Lu Ming. However, it was all in vain. Lu Ming's fist landed, directly crushing the other party's attack and penetrating the other party's body. The terrifying force tore the other party's body. Lu Ming reached out and grabbed the other party's heart of the world. The 18th level True Emperor was killed instantly. Many people were speechless. This level of power was too terrifying. What was an 18th level True Emperor? One of the laws must be a supreme law. Controlling 9 different laws at the same time would give one the battle prowess of an 18th level True Emperor. Only the top geniuses could reach this level. Some of them only managed to comprehend a supreme law after becoming an emperor. However, they were also terrifying geniuses with limitless potential. Clearly, Lu Ming was one of them. Lan Cheng and the others felt their hearts bleeding. Today, they had lost Lan Yun one after another, as well as that expert just now. This was definitely an unimaginable loss. However, they could only watch helplessly as Lu Ming massacred those people. Die! Lu Ming let out a long howl and flapped his six-feathered wings continuously. His speed was extremely fast as he charged toward the remaining people. They screamed and begged, but it was useless. It was too late for regrets as Lu Ming killed them one by one. Not long after, dozens of experts fell, and their world cores were taken away by Lu Ming. What kind of power is this? An 18th level True Emperor can't even fight back. Too shocking. From now on, no one in the younger generation can compete with Lu Ming. His opponents will be the older generation. The so-called 9 severals can't even withstand a single blow from him. At the scene, countless people were discussing. Their hearts were in turmoil, and it was difficult for them to calm down. How can this be? Hung Xinghe, Yuan Xian, and the others who had a conflict with Lu Ming were dumbfounded. Their eyes widened in disbelief. During the 10 Earths competition, Lu Ming was strong but not much stronger than them. Moreover, they were confident that they could surpass Lu Ming in the future and crush Lu Ming if he couldn't become an emperor. However, it had only been a few years and Lu Ming's ability had already reached a height that they could not reach. The difference was too great. The current Lu Ming could kill them with a single finger. They were still in the Void Emperor realm, while Lu Ming could kill an 18th level True Emperor. They couldn't compare at all. Awesome. I'll definitely follow him in the future. My hair. Wuliang Monk kept shouting. We have to work hard too. Otherwise, we'll be left behind by Lu Ming. Indeed. Long Chun, Huang Ling, and the others sighed. Father, Mother was right. Father is unparalleled in the world. No one can compare to him. Looking at Lu Ming in the sky, Lu Shunhuang clenched his fists in excitement. Lan Cheng, the Yin clan's heavenly emperor, the Lan clan's ancestor, and the others were furious, but they could only endure it. Let's go. The old ancestor of the Lan clan shouted coldly. He turned around and was about to leave. Lan Cheng and the others did the same. Wait. Lu Ming's voice sounded. The Lan clan's ancestor and the others stopped. What else do you want? Lan Cheng held back his anger and asked. The Lan clan's patriarch is really forgetful. I won first place, so where are the 100 chaos stones? Give them to me. Lu Ming said indifferently. You. Lan Sheng almost vomited blood. Lu Ming had killed so many people from the Lan clan today, and now he was asking him for chaos stones. That was ridiculous. What? The Lan clan said it yourself. Are you going to deny it? Are you talking nonsense? Or are you playing the others like monkeys? Lu Ming said indifferently. Lan Sheng was about to explode. Give it to him, the Lan clan's ancestor said. In the end, Lan Sheng had no choice but to take out a storage ring and threw it to Lu Ming. Lu Ming took a look and saw that there were 100 chaos stones in it. Thank you, thank you. These chaos stones can help me improve my cultivation. Haha. Lu Ming laughed. Lan Sheng's eyelids and lips trembled. Thank you, my ass. If it wasn't for the situation, why would he give 100 chaos stones to Lu Ming? That was prepared for Xin Yuan Yi. Let's go. Lan Sheng squeezed out a word from the depths of his throat and turned to leave. The people from the Lan clan, the Yin clan, and the forces related to the Lan clan left one after another and entered the large palace in the depths of the Lan clan. Lu Ming didn't let Tu Yi, Jin Yi, and the other body cultivators stay. With their strength, they were enough to flatten the Lan clan. However, the Lan clan and the Yin clan were great forces after all. They had an ancient heritage and a few heavenly emperors. To the heaven realm, they were still very useful. If Lu Ming completely flattened the Lan clan because of Bai Tai, he would probably be stopped by the other heavenly emperors in the heaven realm. Moreover, the Lan clan's ancestor was a peerless expert. If he ran away desperately, they had no confidence in stopping him. However, if a crazy peerless expert took revenge, it would be too terrifying. But now, the other party was wary of Lu Ming's strength and definitely wouldn't dare to take revenge. At least, they wouldn't dare to take revenge openly. All around, everyone sighed. They didn't expect that today's matter would evolve like this. Today, the Lan clan was originally the main character, and Xin Yuan Yi was the main character. Xin Yuan Yi defeated Lin Xiaofeng and stepped onto the peak, becoming the #1 genius in the world. But everything, because of the appearance of Lu Ming, had undergone an earth-shaking change. In the end, the Lan clan and the Yin clan suffered heavy losses and left dejectedly. Lu Ming became the only main character today. Ha ha ha, Lu Ming, long time no see. Monk Wuliang rushed out, his face full of smiles. Long Qin, Huang Ling, Huang Li, Ouyang Wushuang, and the others also stepped out and came to Lu Ming's side. Lu Ming greeted everyone one by one. Brother Long, this is for you. A jade bracelet appeared in Lu Ming's hand, and he handed it to Long Chen. This was Long Chen's fiancée, Xian Yanlin, who asked Lu Ming to bring it to Long Chen. When Lu Ming was in the Divine Wilderness continent, he had taken the time to meet Xian Yanlin and told her about Long Chen's current situation. She asked Lu Ming to give Long Chen a bracelet. Long Chen's gaze trembled as he took the bracelet and cupped his fists to Lu Ming, saying, "Thank you. You're welcome. Xian Yanlin asked me to bring a message to you. She said that she will wait for you, no matter how many years it takes." Lu Ming said. Long Chen didn't say much, but there were tears in his tiger eyes. Father. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.